Preparing Italian stuffed artichokes the way my mom did them, they are absolutely delicious. Today I'm going to show you how to prep them, how to cook them, and how to eat them. I'm Claudia with Eat Color with Claudia. Thanks for tuning in and watching. We'll need fresh bread. Actually, it's not so fresh. I used this yesterday, but some sort of a loaf bread, some flat leaf parsley, a couple of garlics, some grated Parmesan cheese, and some of the Progresso breadcrumbs, and salt and pepper. So we just need to pull out our cutting board for two simple tasks. The first being our garlic. We want to chop 2 garlics, and they don't even need to be big ones. Just even a big one and a little one. So I'm just going to take the paper right off here. Now you want to make sure that you take your time and really mince these guys up, nice and small. Then we need half a cup of fresh chopped parsley. And there we go. That's about half a cup. Since I'm doing 2 artichokes, I'm going to need 2 slices, 2 pretty fat slices about this big, right, like this. Now I filled up, this is just regular water. So now you want to take your bread, and I just kind of, rip it into a couple of pieces where we're just going to let this soak for a little bit. This recipe calls for soft bread, and this is how you do it. So in a mixing bowl, we'll need 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese and a cup of some Progresso breadcrumbs, your parsley and the garlic, about a teaspoon of some black pepper, and a teaspoon of some salt. I forgot to tell you, but we need 2 eggs. And we'll put them on in. Okay, so this bread is nice and soft. And then just gonna stick them in here. Just from making this, I know that this is about 1 cup. Just mix this up. Your bread should feel moist, so if it feels too dry, you can always just add like a little bit of water from the bread water. This right here, can you hear it? That's perfect. And now you have to taste it. You always want to taste it to make sure it's perfect. And it's got flavor. It should have flavor at this point. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Now let's get these artichokes ready. Now if you're not familiar with an artichoke, first of all, you want to buy artichokes in season, either like in March and April, or now, September and October. So what to look for, you go to the grocery store, and the leaves here should be like tightly packed, and it should squeak. It should feel nice and heavy, a good sized stem. And these little markings on here, that's totally fine. That's normal. Now you want to wash artichokes really well, okay? So under cold water, and put them in here, and as the water's going, you can kind of loosen up these little stems and just be gentle with it. And then this is really packed right here, and so you can hold on to your stem, and then you can just give it a couple of little bangs, and look, it opens it right up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to rip off all of these little leaves that are like on the stem and at the base. If you can picture, we're going to be seeding this in water, and there's going to be stuffing in each one of these leaves. So we want to be able to picture that the water won't be going like inside of them. I think that one looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to do this one now too. Okay, so now you'll grab it by the stem here, and each one of these leaves, you want to cut the tips off, just like this. And so you hold on to the stem, so it just makes it very easy to rotate it around. And now we're gonna gauge about right here and use a, what do you call this, bread knife. And we're gonna cut like the top quarter off right here. And just give it a cut. Just like that, that's perfect. Now the stem here, this part here at the bottom where it's just, you know, all brown and raggedy, just whack that off. Okay, so now you can see in here, this part here is actually like, this is like the weight of the heart in here, and this can be very tender. Now you can save this stem and cook with it, but actually what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna try to get a straight line, and I'm gonna cut the stem off right here. Okay, and there's my heart. Okay, that's important. And you wanna make sure like it sits down. Look at that, I got my cut nice and straight, because this is gonna sit in the pot. And now it's time to put the stuffing in. This is the fun part. So you'll just open up each one of these things, and I just use my fingers and just kind of stick the stuffing in each one of these leaves. And just keep on doing it. And I like to hit every single leaf, because it's almost like making nachos. You know, you want to have the good stuff on every leaf. Now we're getting to like in the center of this, and in here where these purple leaves are really tight, down in there, underneath here is the choke, and underneath the choke is the heart. And we're gonna be cutting out the choke because it's not edible, but we do that after it's cooked. So I've got these beautifully stuffed, and I actually have some leftover stuffing, probably made too much. And there's one more step on top of the artichokes. You want to take your Progresso breadcrumbs and sprinkle it on top. I'm going to do them both here. And then you'll want to take your Parmesan cheese and put it on top. Now we need to get these over to the stove. So you need a pot that'll hold, you know, your artichokes in, tall sides and a good lid. And now place both of your artichokes into the pan. You'll want to add water in there. You want the water to come up to about like right at this point here. Okay, now add, I don't know what this is, a teaspoon or so of salt. And now we want to take the olive oil. We're going to pour it on top of the artichokes in kind of a circular motion to kind of just get it to drip on in there. Now put your lid on and get this to a boil. And I'm going to lower it all the way. I usually put it like on the number 1, and you want to let it simmer. And let it simmer for a good 45 minutes. It's been a good 45 minutes. Let's take a peek. These guys have got to be done. Oh, they look gorgeous. Now, how do you tell if the artichokes are done? Well, there's only one way to do it, and that's to get them out. Hopefully in one piece. Okay, and then we can turn them over on a side, because the heart should be tender. Oh gosh, I'm gonna burn my fingers. Let's see, there's the heart, and let's see if this knife goes through. Oh my gosh, beautifully. I didn't mean to just stab him in the heart, but it's just what you gotta do. Oh my gosh, let's get these over to the table and eat them. Now we are ready to feast. Eating a stuffed artichoke is like eating edamame, or maybe you're at a crawfish boil. It's going to be messy, and you're gonna wanna have like a discard bowl and a knife and a fork and a spoon for later, and of course napkins. Now, you start from the outer end and you pull one off, and as you can see, the stuffing is right there, and I'll move this. This right here is where the meat of the artichoke is, right? You turn it around like this, and you hold it, and you're gonna wanna dig your front teeth in it. There it is, see? And that's what you wanna do. and then you put it over there. Now, what's so cool about this is the outside layers, the meat is, well, the vegetable is like a little meatier. And as you get closer to the center, it gets more and more tender. And then the goal is to get to the heart. But before we get to the heart, there's the choke. And you can't eat the choke. So I'm going to dig in. I'm going to show you how to get to the center and what to do with the choke. I am so lucky. So now I've gotten to the base of the artichoke. And underneath these little leaves here is the choke that we don't want to eat. And so look at y'all, I have extra stuffing. I put so much stuffing in there. I'm good with this stuff to dip in my heart. So I think the easiest way to show you is turn this on the side. And there is a great picture. And you can see right here, this right here is all the choke. And you don't want to eat those little hairs. So you want to take a spoon and kind of dig in there a little bit, gently. So just try to do your best, spoon it out, use a fork, use a knife, whatever you need, and just dump it into your discard bowl. So here is the heart, the most tender, most delicious part of the artichoke. It's so worth it. This is like the prize. It's like going on a hike and hitting a waterfall. So just take a little piece of your heart and you get some stuffing and eat it together. So tender, so delicious, y'all. This was so much fun. I had so much fun cooking this with you. Thank you for watching, and until next week, bon appetit.